is Elisa New, and I'm a professor of American literature and the director and host of a public television show, Poetry in America. I also run an educational nonprofit that produces online courses and increasingly programming for K-12 students and teachers. I've been a college teacher for 30 years, but in the last 10, I've done a sort of mid-career turn. And now I think of myself also as a K-12 educator. That is to say, I've been working with great K-12 teachers and learning from them how to engage kids with literature in ways that help them grow academically and also as human beings. I've worked with hundreds of teachers over the last half dozen years in large groups and small, sometimes online and sometimes in their own classrooms. And it's been a rare privilege to work with a group of Connecticut teachers in a 4-session webinar series called Teach Together 2020. The idea of the webinar was to provide teachers some online materials, including videos focused on American poetry, but suitable for use in ELA, social studies, and arts courses. And then to work collectively with these teachers to generate some curriculum we all could use going forward, whether we find ourselves teaching online or in the classroom or some combination of the two come fall. Now we're throwing the webinar open to all of you. And in just a few minutes, you'll join this group, no problem joining late, in thinking about how to go forward and teach a wonderful poem by Richard Blanco called Looking for the Gulf Motel. The poem is about family vacations, or rather memories of family vacations and of childhood, and it has broad appeal among middle and high school and adult readers. We had a really good time discussing this poem, as you'll see, and I think that's because these teachers, like all great teachers, were not only putting themselves in their students' shoes as learners, but because they just wear these shoes all the time. They are learners whose obvious expertise is mixed with openness and curiosity and belief in what their students can do and confidence in how they as teachers can help these students get there. Let's meet this group before we dive into the poem.
If I can get the kids to feel the poem, then it'll be easier for them to approach it analytically too.
Part of our senior graduation requirement is for seniors to do what's called an oral defense, where they get a copy of a poem that they've never seen before. They have 15 minutes to annotate it, and then they have to defend their analysis of that poem with another English teacher that they've never had before.
Someone struggling against an action, an art, a habit, whatever, that they feel that they are not going to be successful at, they do not know how to do, but are successful in doing so at the end to potentially break down any barriers that students may feel they have because they don't know the topic. So to utilize that moment as a way to invite them into the poem.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to start off, or maybe after reading the poem once, to show kids some YouTube clips of modern dance that also didn't fit the meter or push the envelope, however you want to say it.
Find that because of our kids' intensive knowledge of rapping and hip hop and all that stuff, they don't realize what they know intrinsically. They don't know how to name what they can do because many of them are artists themselves.
There doesn't have to be a rule. So write what it is, write what you love, and then go from there.
For kids, I might ask them, write a poem to someone who told you that you couldn't do something, and how would you structure that?
I'm a huge fan of Dave.
I'm a fan of Dave too.
I want Dave to come into my classroom so I can learn and my kids can learn from him.
The reflections you just heard are drawn from discussions of a few different poems, one by Emily Dickinson, one by Langston Hughes, and the one by Richard Blanco you're about to hear. Soon you'll hear this group begin to pool their teaching ideas using live discussion, silent chat via Zoom, and synchronous work on a Google Doc. No harm in jotting down some thoughts of your own as you listen to this reading of Richard Blanco's Looking for the Gulf Motel that I created for Amplify Education. Enjoy the gorgeous illustrations by Eddie Pena.
Looking for the Gulf Motel, Marco Island, Florida. There should be nothing here I don't remember. The Gulf Motel with mermaid lampposts and ship's wheel in the lobby should still be rising out of the sand like a cake decoration. My brother and I should still be pretending we don't know our parents, embarrassing us as they roll the luggage cart past the front desk, loaded with our scruffy suitcases, 24 loaves of Cuban bread, brown bags bulging with enough mangoes to last the entire week, our espresso pot, the pressure cooker, and a pork roast reeking garlic through the lobby. All because we can't afford to eat out, not even on vacation. Only 2 hours from our home in Miami, but far enough away to be thrilled by the wider sands on the west coast of Florida, where I should still be, for the first time, watching the sun set instead of rise over the ocean. There should be nothing here I don't remember. My mother should still be in the kitchenette of the Gulf Motel, her daisy sandals from Kmart squeaking across the linoleum, still gorgeous in her teal swimsuit and amber earrings, stirring a pot of arroz con pollo, adding sprinkles of onion powder and dollops of tomato sauce. My father should still be in a terrycloth jacket, smoking, clinking a glass of amber whiskey in the sunset at the Gulf Motel, watching us dive into the pool, two boys he'll never see grow into men who will be proud of him. There should be nothing here I don't remember. My brother and I should still be playing parcheesi. My father should still be alive, slow dancing with my mother on the sliding glass balcony of the Gulf Motel. No music, only the waves keeping time, a song only their minds hear, 10,000 nights back to their life in Cuba. My mother's face should still be resting against his bare chest, like the moon resting on the sea, and the stars should still be turning around him. There should be nothing here I don't remember. My brother should still be 13, sneaking rum in the bathroom and sculpting naked wind from sand. And I should still be 8 years old, dazzled by seashells and how many seconds I can hold my breath underwater. But I'm not. I'm 38, driving up Collier Boulevard, looking for the Gulf Motel, for everything that should still be, but isn't. I want to blame the condos, their shadows for ruining the beach and my past. I want to chase the snowbirds away with their tacky McMansions and yachts. I want to turn the golf courses back into mangroves. I want to find the Gulf Motel exactly as it was and pretend for a moment nothing lost is lost.
Blanco's poem strikes an immediate chord in most readers, and these teachers were eager to discuss what it was about these words on a page that could generate such strong emotions.
To me, it was on the surface. It's personal for me too. I mean, I lost my father young, not that young, but so that's why it punched me like right in the gut. So that's how I think of it as. And then all these beautiful, the images, the sounds, the smells of the food, the sounds, the vacation, the Kmart, just makes me think, I grew up the same way. We didn't have a lot, but my father made everything that we did, special and feel special. And so that's really personal for me.
From a thematic standpoint, we have DACA students, we have students from all over the world. And so they can relate in that way. There's a lot that they can see right away. I mean, they can see how the sound devices work. They can see how repetition works. They can see directly what I mean by imagery and the connections, and even like what I said about the first person speaker, that it's more personal. There's just a lot that even my most reluctant learners, I think, can grasp.
I don't know if you guys have seen Pam's message in the chat, having difficulty understanding tone and how diction contributes to tone. That is like my jam with my students. That is what I am all about, and talking about the difference between connotation and denotation. I think Pam nailed it.
Mangrove is such an in-between kind of thing. Like they live between salt water and fresh water, like the mangrove forest, and their roots aren't really rooted in anything. So that kind of in-betweenness of American and Cuban American struck me.
You might notice that I'm finding running this seminar on teaching online hard. I had imagined synchronous seminar discussion via Zoom would be simpler than it proved. This is probably familiar to you.
Slightly different situation.
American Studies for a couple of years.
And who am I hearing? I'm hearing
Terry. This is Terry. I'm
Oh,
having
hi,
trouble
Terry.
with my
you're
internet.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
It's called the Refugee Trilogy.
It's impossible, Dave. It's really hard to hear.
And reading the new class really.
Over a few weeks, we tried out various new ways of sharing our ideas, and we found that there is a power in written discussion that may sometimes even exceed the power of verbal exchange. And by the way, that allows you to ensure your students' participation. In just a few minutes, we all taught each other so much, from Terry and Caitlin realizing together that the repetition of the word amber was a device to bind father and mother, to Dave's amazing observation about social class. In case you want to move forward with this poem, teaching it in your classroom, I'm leaving you with all the materials I shared with teachers in the webinar. These include a short video of the poet Richard Blanco himself talking about his poem, a short video in which Cuban-born singer Gloria Estefan talks about the poem, and a complete lesson on sensory imagery I created with Richard Blanco and illustrator Eddie Pena for Amplify Education. You are welcome to use any of these with students in the classroom or online when you return to class in the fall. In conclusion here, I'd simply say thank you, Connecticut, for lending me these teachers who have helped me to move forward and stay strong in my own teaching. The challenges you are facing to engage with students remotely, to figure out how to do what you do online, to provide academic, technical, and emotional support to students and their families, these are significant challenges. I commend you for the job you are doing. I admire you, and I wish you all the best in the year ahead.